Hello! Welcome to the AFC and NFC Championship games here. I've lumped it into one video this year instead of two like it was last year, and I'm using a DVD recorder so that you actually get to see the entire screen of the game as I'm doing it. I'm very sorry for last week not putting the videos up. By not putting the videos up, I mean I didn't record any videos because I'm lazy. But the Bears would cover the kickoff, and Jim Harbaugh, he's their quarterback. Neil Anderson, he's their running back, and they don't get very far here. Harbaugh would get sacked on the first play that he would have the ball, and then on the second play that he'd have the ball, guess what he does? Well, he gets sacked again. That's right, by Johnny Holland this time. Don Majkowski, he'll start out majorly the same way that Harbaugh does, by running up and then getting sacked again, this time by Dan Hampton. So Majkowski, he'd drop back, he's looking for receivers, and he'd find Kemp here. Kemp's going to catch that ball. That's Perry Kemp. He'd run to the 45 and then fumble the ball. Oh no. But no worries. Kemp would recover the ball right back. So Majkowski, he'd have good opportunities to score here, wouldn't he? No, because he'd fumble the ball. So Packers get two fumbles right there on their first drive. That's never a good way to start a game. Bears' problem was interceptions, though. They'd throw an interception. It'd be caught at the 5-yard line for the Packers. And 5 yards is not a good place to start a drive here, but Don Majkowski, he's able to find West. He'd get to the 22-yard line, sending up for a 22-yard field goal, which would be kicked, and it splits the uprights. And by splits, I mean it hits the uprights and then kind of goes through. But the Bears would get the ball. Jim Harbaugh, he is their quarterback, and as I think I've already stated, he'd run. This is about a desperation 3rd and 10 play. He runs for almost 20 yards there on a scramble. Neil Anderson, he's the actual running back, and he'd get really far on this play, up to the 23-yard line. And so Bears would have the ball in scoring position from the Packers 4. He'd hand to Neil Anderson. Neil Anderson would score. It is 7-3. Chicago. And the Bears, they take the lead. But Don Majkowski, he's never phased. He'd find Woodside here on a diving catch at the 45, and then he would take the ball. He's going to scramble away from several Bears defenders, and he's going to find Sterling Sharp in the end zone, but no, overthrows him just by a little bit. I seriously doubt that dogs barking in the background of the recording studio is ever a problem for people at ESPN. One problem for the Green Bay Packers, that was the Bears recovering this blocked field goal at the end of the second quarter, so we go into halftime. It's 3-7 Chicago. Again, Majkowski unfazed. He'd throw. No, he wouldn't. He would run this one in. Majkowski surprisingly runs for a touchdown. Cutler ran for 2 touchdowns last week, so I guess it's the week of white quarterbacks running the ball. Jim Harbaugh, he'd find Davis here at the 5-yard line, and they're going to do exactly what they also did when they were in the 3-yard line last time, and he'd hand it to Neil Hendricks. He'd score the touchdown, and the Bears take a 14-10 lead. Majkowski, though, he's got Sterling Sharp so wide open here that he's going to catch the 20. And while in this game most defenders can run up to you and stop you if you're at the 20, he's so wide open nobody can catch him. That's a touchdown for the Packers. 17-14 here in the fourth quarter. Now Majkowski, they've got to mount one drive to stop them, the Bears, to seal the game, but William Perry, he comes up with the sack. That's right, the fridge is about to clinch the game for the Bears, and it's even more obvious here when Wendell Davis catches a pass. He's very good at catching passes, and he's not very good at holding onto the ball. Packers would recover that fumble at the 50-yard line, and what a sad loss for the Bears. 17-14 Green Bay. This is actually what I'm picking as well, so yay for Tecmo, hopefully. Also, I'd just like to point out, I was correct about the Seattle beating New Orleans, so yeah. But anyway, it's time for the AFC Championship game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Jets. And I'll stop talking with that fake accent. New York, they had a lot of talk coming into this week, as they always do. They had a lot of talk going into last week. Rex Ryan never seems to shut up. So, did the Jets play that way? Well, Rex Ryan was not their coach at that time, so who really cares? The Jets would recover the opening kickoff because they elected to receive. And Ken O'Brien, he's the quarterback. He'd do what Ken O'Brien does best and throw an interception. And then he'd find Rob Moore in the end zone for a touchdown. So you take what you get. So here's Pittsburgh. Jets have already scored, so what can Pittsburgh do to answer? Well, they can get a really long run here. And that would be just what they did with Williams scoring a touchdown to tie it up. So Warren Williams already has one touchdown. And Jets would get the ball back. They can only kick a field goal, and they would not get that field goal. So that'd still be tied at. Alright, so here's Bubby Brister. He'd find Green. And this was a really good pass and really good catch as well. Green between the legs of two New York Jets defenders. Very nice. So here's Bubby Brister. He'd give the ball to Williams. And on the pitch, he'd get up to the 3-yard line. Brister drops back and... Wait a minute. Who names their child Bubby? Anyway, he quarterbacks the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he throws to Hill. He's going to catch it in the end zone, and that's a touchdown, so Bubby Brister gets to laugh at the fact that I made fun of his name. Jets would get the ball back. Here's Ken O'Brien on the handoff to Thomas. Thomas, he's going to get to the 3-yard line, and he's about to score, but he fumbles, and that's what Blair Thomas always did. So here we are heading into the fourth quarter. Pittsburgh has a 7-point lead, but 7-point lead doesn't always mean very much. But when you have Merrill Hodge, I wasn't even paying attention to the game when he scored this, though. Merrill Hodge, he's just going to run for a touchdown silently, and they take a 20-7 lead. They would miss the extra point. So the Jets have to get this master plan done, score, and then get the onside kick and score again. Well, they get the first part correct. O'Brien would hand to Freeman McNeil, and he would score a touchdown. Much fanfare from the Jets sideline. Now they've just got to get the onside kick, but Merrill Hodge recovers, and he scores another touchdown. That seals the game here for the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers win it 27-14. Just not a good day for the New York Jets. I do predict a Jets victory here, so Tecmo agrees with me on one part and then disagrees with me on the other. So I'll see you next week after our Super Bowl has been decided who will play in it, and I'm going to do the Super Bowl this year again on the 16-bit Super NES version. So join me for that. Thank you for watching.